Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. There has been yet another poll, and the downward trajectory for the SNP continues unabated. There is some nuggets of joy in there for them, but it is still going to be a major loss. Now, this poll was for the general election, not the Scottish parliamentary elections. It shows the state of the UK Parliament, but it's suggesting that the SNP are likely to lose 13 seats now, up from the 10 it was likely to lose before. There are obviously all the ones of people who've already said they're leaving at the end of this parliamentary term. They're all virtually likely to lose their seats. But there's one or two others, perhaps surprising, that are likely to also lose theirs. It is particularly tight. However, there is a couple of seats there, or 3 seats I believe, where the SNP are likely to take them. But unfortunately, not from Labour, but from the Tories. So it's a cold comfort to the Tories, but it just lessens the blow slightly for the SNP. But either way, it's still going to be a very, very bad morning on whatever Friday it is when they announce the results from these seats. And so we just look forward to seeing the general election and to see, the sad face of Humza Yousaf as he's got to come to terms with the fact that as First Minister and leader of the party, he has been another complete failure. But failure is something he has to live with each day, isn't it? Anyway, we'll take a look at this, see what the positions are with the polls and see where it's likely to be heading. But it is very telling that it's consistently downwards, and there is no sign of it plateauing to any kind of bottom. It is just continually down, down, down all the way. Here goes. So, fresh misery for Humza Yousaf and the SNP, as latest poll shows unlucky 13 MPs set for the boot at the general election. And of course they've already had sort of 10 people say, 8 people say that they're going. Margaret Ferrier has gone, and Angus MacNeil is no longer with the whip, and he of course is one of those definitely going to lose his seat, and a few of those will have jumped because they're going to lose their seats, but there'll be a few others as well. So they're losing a lot of experience, either through resignation or loss of seat. And so it's going to weaken the party generally, which I don't think is a bad thing. The weaker they are, the better. The more people see that they are inexperienced and stupid and failures, less likely they're likely to vote for them, Anyway, Humza Yousaf has failed to address the slide for the Nats in the opinion polls. That is good news for Scottish Labour, although there'll be concerns for the Tories. I mean, don't get me wrong. I say there's going to be a big Tory victory. A big Labour victory, and I'm making that out to be a good thing. I think there's nothing good about a Labour victory per se, but anyone other than the Nats. I think whoever wins is still going to make a pig's ear of everything, but at least they'll be making a fresh, different pig's ear. It won't be a pig's ear through the identity of independence. They'll fail for other reasons, but they won't be failing because of independence. And so maybe they may get a few lucky hits on the way. Who knows? Humza Yousaf has been dealt a fresh blow with a new analysis showing no signs of an SNP revival in Scotland. Indeed, since he's taken over, it has consistently fallen, poll after poll after poll. Really, the only polls that ever kind of show anything positive are the ones conducted by the National. And that's not surprising, is it? 13 Nationalist MPs are predicted to lose their seats, although this will be offset slightly by Tory losses, according to the research by Electoral Calculus and Find Out Now. Among the Nats facing the boot are frontbenchers David Linden, cousin of Jordan, so no loss there, I think, Alathan Thewlis and Chris Stevens. Other high-profile victims of the Nat Purge would be Amy Callaghan and disgraced former whip Patrick Grady. Again, be nice to see him gone, the little touchy-feely sex pest that he is. He spent a period in exile after he breached sexual misconduct policies, which we all know about. What an obnoxious little toad he truly is. Angus MacNeil, who's currently sitting without the SNP whip as an independent and is unlikely to ever return to the party, will also go, as will Alba's only two representatives, Kenny McCaskill and Neil Hanvey. Neither of them won their seat. They both had to jump ship to Alba, and it seems likely that both of them will be punished for it. The study predicts a swing from the SNP to Labour in Rutherglen and Hamilton West, and we've said that from day one. If Labour don't win that seat, I will eat my hat. But a by-election will take place there before the end of the year, after Margaret Ferrier was ousted in a recall petition. Yeah, so it's going to be likely October this year. There'll be the by-election, probably early October this year. There'll be the by-election, and if everything goes according to plan, and everything goes according to the polls, Humza Yousaf will be looking at again another loss. Even though she's technically an independent, Margaret Ferrier always voted with the SNP, and so that's basically a loss of a vote there. The poll was run for Channel 4 and it quizzed over 11,000 voters across the UK. As it used a system known as regression technique, it allowed pollsters to predict individual seats. 12 of the 13 SNP seats would go to Labour under the prediction, with Miss Callan's Dunbartonshire East going to the Lib Dems. Under the study, the Nats would win only 38 seats in all, down from the 48 they currently hold. And there was bad news for the Scottish Tories, with 3 seats, including Douglas Ross's in Moray, predicted to ease the Nat pain slightly by going to the SNP. Dumfries and Galloway, currently held by Alistair Jack, who is standing down, would also turn yellow, as would Andrew Bowie's constituency of Aberdeenshire West and Kincardine. I can't see why the people of Aberdeen, or even Aberdeenshire anywhere, would vote SNP when the SNP policy is to end the oil industry. It seems madness, doesn't it? Why would they possibly vote? That's like turkeys voting for Christmas. Anyway, other polls have suggested the Nats could lose up to 20 seats as Labour experiences a revival in Scotland and Humza Yousaf fails to enjoy a bounce as First Minister. Overall, Labour is on track for a grudging majority due to the lack of enthusiasm for Sir Keir Starmer's party. Yeah, basically they're voting Labour because they can't vote for the SNP because they hate them, and they just won't vote Tory. So it's going to be a Labour victory. Although I would say to people in an area where, a Labour party is the second place to the SNP, if you're Tory, hold your nose and vote Labour to make sure the Labour guy gets in. And likewise, if it's a place where a Conservative is second place, Labour voters, hold your nose, vote Tory. Get the SNP out. It's one election only. You can do it. You've all got a backbone. Do it for one. And just get the SNP out because they're so damaging. The SNP is currently trying to keep hold of Rutherglen and Hamilton West in South Lanarkshire. And even sent Stephen Flynn there to campaign for the candidate Katie Loudon on Wednesday. However, Labour are heavy favourites to take back the seat, with bookies offering odds of just 1-9 for Michael Shanks to win the seat. Oh yes, I mean, you can put everyone up there. The Pope can turn up there and it wouldn't make a difference for the SNP. They're so damaged and discredited in Lanarkshire generally, never mind that particular seat. In a parliamentary seat, but you look at the councils as well. They're just being rejected left, right, and centre. Anyway, I shall round off there. Come up, and we will finish the video. If I was a more forgiving man, I would say that I feel sorry for Humza Yousaf. He's a man out of his depth. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not capable of discipline in his party, and so his party is falling apart beneath him, and other people outside of the party are seeing it. The opposition, they smell blood in the water and they're coming for them. And the thing is, the SNP are so precarious on their policies. Like I say, being anti-oil and standing in Aberdeenshire is folly, surely. But then when you see that they're propped up by the Greens and virtually everybody hates the Greens, it's little wonder, of course, that the polls consistently show that support for the SNP is falling all the time, worse and worse and worse. And come the next general election, I would be surprised. I would be very surprised, I think, if the SNP only won 20 seats. I don't. I think if they made 20, I would be surprised. I think it may even be fewer than 20 seats in Scotland. Obviously, the Scottish seats, and to have only 20 seats would be humiliating. I think it would be the humiliation that would destroy Humza Yousaf, and that's assuming he lasts until the next election. I believe there's moves afoot. I believe there is stirrings in the air, and there's already a charge being built, sort of being brought up, ready to relieve him of duty, to put it kindly. And I think it'll happen relatively soon, because they want whoever takes over to have sufficient time to have a bit of a run-up to the general election. And it wouldn't surprise me if Kate Forbes, as I say this before, Kate Forbes does a push probably after the Rutherglen election. I think they'll use the Labour win there as a further sort of push and indictment of his leadership, and then Kate will go in, or possibly get a stalking horse to go in, and then start the procedure, and then Kate comes in afterwards to mop up the victory. But we shall see when it happens. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, if you press the subscription button now, you'll only ever hear the truth. Bye.